Hello my friends and welcome to my 18th video.
Wait a second. War of the Ring, he said? No battle for Middle-earth? Yes, you're right. No battle for Middle-earth today. But still, Lord of the Rings RTS action. I will explain it now. So if you don't care for rules, or probably a bad and lengthy explanation, then just jump to the timestamps in the description. For those who stick around, here's what happened. The Battle for Middle-earth 1 from EA Los Angeles released back in December 2004, but it wasn't the first Lord of the Rings RTS out there. No, on the 4th of November 2003, Sierra Entertainment released the first Lord of the Ring RTS developed by Liquid Entertainment. The people who made Battle Rams, by the way, if this name rings a bell. So, why does nobody remember the game? I mean, I don't blame you. I was just lucky that my brother stumbled upon it in a yard sale. Otherwise, I don't think that I would know it by now. Oh, and if you do know it, please let me know how you managed to hear from this game. I would love to hear your stories. Okay, to get back to my original question, why does no one know this game? Well, first of all, it's old, and I mean really old, almost 20 years by now. Oh god. Second, I mean, it's not a bad game, it's similar to Warcraft 3, even if it's a prequel, and you will see why in a bit, but there's no beating around the bush. Battle for Middle-earth is just far better in basically every way. Better unit control, more factions, camera angles, heroes, spells, campaign, more and more. But honestly, I don't think this makes this game a bad game, just a different. Well, that's enough video game comparison for now. Today, we will try to run this game deathless, as everybody guessed by now, but still, it will be a different experience for me, and probably for you, because I don't really remember the last time I played this game, and I don't think that I completed the campaign. So yeah, I don't really have much experience to pull from. So maybe we can learn together and die and suffer together. And I will also split this campaign in parts, maybe every 1 to 2 missions, so it's easier to edit for me. Please tell me which style of video you prefer, short videos or long ones. I can do both. Well, that was much explanation at the start of the run, but we're almost through. Just the rules now. I put them on screen right now, rush through them. First, no unit I control is allowed to die. Otherwise, I have to reload. Second, summons die when they expire, but if I beat the mission before the timer runs out, they are fair game. Third, campaign is set to the hardest difficulty, which is hard here. Fourth, allied units must be saved if possible, but only within reason. Fifth, bugs, glitches and exploits are encouraged if I find any, only I will. So, let's jump right into action. We start off the campaign on a map of Middle-earth. There we will select our missions and difficulty. Our first mission available is the Grey Ledge. I will show you the mission briefings and cutscenes so you can enjoy the story and campaign with me.
The Iron Hills echo with the sounds of clashing steel as the dwarves defend their homeland against a wicked orc onslaught. With the help of Gimli, son of Glóin, they prepare to rid the cliffs of the savage infestation. Gimli and his warriors must gather their forces, climb the nearby peaks, and crush their enemies under the weight of the mountain.
The time has come to drive the orcs from the Iron Hills. Look, up there. There's boulders on the cliffs above the orc camp. If we can gain those cliffs, we'll show the orcs what dwarves can do with stone. A few hard shoves will send some rock crashing down on orc heads. Ha 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 ha!
We take control over Gimli and his forces, where we must drive back an orc invasion force, which shouldn't be that hard, right? While we wait, I can check the spellbook, and honestly, there are only 2 spells which are interesting to me. The Legend spell, which makes one of my heroes a legend which greatly improves their stats, but they can't be revived. Well, that's an ability for a Deathless run. The other interesting ability is the Summon Ant ability, which costs many spell points, but sounds nice to have an unstoppable ant in your army. Please don't be timed. 20 minutes later, and I finally have a somewhat decent income and can build up a forge for upgrades and axe throws for range damage, because I will not send in weak melee troops in a Deathless run. Then I build 2 towers for defense, finish my troops, and move out. Man, it's been so long since I played this game, almost everything is new to me. But hey, that's part of the appeal if I'm honest. The goal of the mission is to get some rocks, which are conveniently placed on the edge, so if we can move them a tiny bit, they will crush the orcs beneath them. Why don't they just move out the way anyway? Okay, my forces encounter some enemies, I clear them. While I do this, I notice something. Gimli gains XP every time he attacks an enemy, so can we level him up in this mission and use him again leveled up in some other mission? That would be nice. So a long slog of attacking, pulling back, healing up and attacking again begins. It took me another 20 minutes or so to level Gimli a bit, but I noticed that he gets stronger and he even tanks more damage every level. That will be useful. At one point I gain a healing well, which grants an auto heal buff to my troops. Neat! And I will later discover that every unit has an auto heal to start with, which is awesome for this run. But hey, why are there arrows flying to my units? What? Where do they come from? Oh, from the hill. There are units on top of this hill and I can't see them, so they fire from the shadows. Well, that's fun. I rush my squad through and Gimli takes the lead again, because he has not hit max level yet. But don't worry, he will soon enough. After the orcs are cleared out, it's time to crush them with the stones. It worked flawlessly. 1 stone thrown down, 2 more to go. On my way to the next stone, I clear the remains of the camp and encounter the last big camp. I can't seem to find a way on top of the hill to the rocks, so I guess I have to go through this camp. Gimli takes the lead again, and by this point he has reached level 10 and is a beast. His damage, regeneration and armor is so good he can almost solo this. Oh, and did I mention he has an AoE stun ability, which is basically no cooldown? No? Well, he has, and it's great. I managed to slowly clear the camp and kill the enemy orc leader. He falls and is camped soon after. Then the mission ends? Oh, what? I ignored the original objective and just cleared the camp without the rocks? Oops, I didn't know that you can do this. Well, it still worked, so I don't care.
Spread quickly in the orc ranks about dwarves who could make rocks fall from the sky. The orcs retreated from the cliffs and mountain ledges they had used to invade the dwarf lands. A dwarf victory would have been assured, but fear of the Dark Lord Sauron inspired the orcs to find another way into the kingdom of Durin's folk.
And I managed to beat the mission without any losses. Siege of the Iron Hills, where we take control over Gimli's troops again.
The dwarves have spilled orc blood for hundreds of years in many major wars, and now another such battle is about to begin. The orcs have come from the west to besiege Thorin's Gate, the common entrance to the Iron Hills. The king under the mountain has sent his kindred from the mines to defend his realm. Under the leadership of Gimli, son of Gloin, the dwarf forces intend to complete the construction of an ancient weapon to rid their home of the orcs.
The king under the mountain calls on us to drive back the invading orcs. The orcs have besieged Thorin's Gate for almost a year and have nearly pushed through. They have a fortified encampment on the northern edge of the mountains. But fear not, I have a plan. After the Battle of the Five Armies, Thorin's kin ordered the secret construction of a great weapon. Its purpose was to prevent an orc invasion into these hills. Alas, it was never completed. We must find the weapon and finish its construction. We'll need to defend our workers, but first, we must increase our numbers. The Orcs have taken over the nearby ore and water supply. Let's take it back and set up our own camp.
The mission starts us off with a small task force, and we must retake a goblin camp to build our own there. We don't have any camp yet, so we have to make do with what we have here right now. Luckily, our tedious leveling from last mission paid off, and Gimli starts at level 10. He's jacked now. This makes retaking the camp much easier. Also, Gimli has a new ability. He can now take over enemy towers, which is really good. I mean, his spell basically turns their own base defense against him. Just look at this. They can't do anything against it. I also try to keep the turrets alive, because that way I have more free base defense later. Once the orcs are wiped out, my troops destroy slowly but surely the buildings. The outpost falls, and we get reinforcements in the form of builders. Neat. Now we can build our own camp here, which I promptly do. As always, the start is a bit slow in this game, and it takes a while until your production really takes off. I get attacked by small attack forces, but nothing to worry about. Yet. I construct additional towers to help defend my base, and my base soon grows. And then I wait. And wait. And wait. About 30 minutes pass and I finally bought all of my upgrades from the forge and have enough money to build my axe throwers, because they are the only ranged unit I can build right now and I don't want to use melee units. When my pile of dwarves is big enough, I move out to search for the catapult. Oh, did I mention that we need to look for an ancient doomsday device that dwarves built? Well, now you do. I slowly walk to the west side of the map and instantly bump into the catapult. Well, that's convenient. I didn't think that it would be this close, so now I only have to defend it and build it with my workers. Shouldn't be that hard, right? My workers get pulled from the harvesting and start working on the catapult. And oh my god, it takes long to finish. The beginning section of the defense isn't that hard, and the enemy sends only small waves out which are easily defeated, and the real problem comes after a cutscene where Gimli tells us that the orcs now know we're here. Attacks ramp up in intensity and they simultaneously attack my base and the catapult. That's when I noticed that I left 2 axe throwers at home and they got overwhelmed and died. Well, shit. And guess who thought, oh, it's going so well, I don't need to save. Yeah, it's me.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
So, I have to replay the whole ordeal. See you in an hour or so. So, now we're back in business. After the cutscene, everything goes smooth until the enemy decides to rush through my base and focus my workers down and ignore the towers? What way would they do that? And they died. Okay, reload time. In the next attempt, everything goes smooth until I mess up unit commands and some workers die again. Okay. This train continued for a while after I finally hit almost everything in the corner, then finished the catapult.
It's finished! Let's stain these hills with orc blood, as a warning to others who would invade our lands.
And then the mission doesn't end. Oh no. I also have to fire the catapult manually to destroy the orc base. Well, that's really cool game design, but I almost died again because of this. While I leveled their base with my catapult, the orcs almost cracked me and killed something again. Almost. 2 well-placed shots later and the mission ends finally.
Weapon crafted by dwarves! I don't think the orcs will return anytime soon!
With the catapult's completion, Another entrance to the dwarf realm was defended. No more orcs would brave the lands where fire and stone rained death upon them. Aware that his orcs had failed, Sauron sought another way to reach the dwarves. He sent emissaries to the king under the mountain, offering an alliance and great reward for information about a certain hobbit. Suspecting treachery, the dwarf king sent Gloin and his son Gimli to warn Bilbo and seek the counsel of Elrond in Rivendell. There, Gimli would join the Fellowship in their quest to destroy the One Ring.
Well, that was something, and we are only at mission 2. Thanks again for watching. See you in mission 3, the Pursuit of Gollum.
Gollum, the wretched slave to the One Ring, has managed to slither through the grasp of the elven king Thranduil and retreat deep into the forest of Mirkwood. Thranduil has sent Legolas to recapture the pitiful, corrupted creature.
I hear them, precious. Wicked elves, we hate them.
We near Dol Guldur. Stay alert.
What fine eating they will make.
Vile spiders! Kill the creatures quickly! Gollum must have fled north. Keep your bows ready. This area is infested with these spiders.
After our catapultastic adventure... Oh my god, I cringe myself so hard with this joke. Sorry, okay. After this catapultastic adventure with Gimli, we must now take over the control over Legolas and his archers to pursue Gollum in Mirkwood. Oh, that's gonna be fun, isn't it? The mission starts you off with Legolas and 4 archers in Mirkwood. That's it. That's all you get. Nothing more, nothing less. No building reinforcements, nothing. Just a simple, plain, good old micro mission. I actually love these missions because you don't have to worry about unit production or anything else, and can put your whole attention to your troop management, which can be your downfall if you're not good at these games like I am, but I digress. Unfortunately, the mission is just running after Gollum, because Mirkwood is home to about every goddamn single spider in Middle-earth.
Nasty elves, they hurt us. We mustn't let them catch us, no. We curses them. They want to keep us from the precious.
Gollum is near. I hear his muttering. Move, quickly!
So, to no one's surprise, I did the same here as I did with Gimli in Mission 1. Leveling Legolas up to level 10, slowly but surely. Honestly, because he's a ranged character and his ability has a huge knockback, it's not that bad. Oh, and why the fuck do hero spells only have like 10 seconds cooldown each? I mean, I don't mind, but it strikes me as a design flaw and balance aspect for multiplayer. Anyway, my only problem so far is keeping my archers back so Legolas can get as much experience as possible, and a real life problem. You see, my desk is getting sunk in the middle of the day, and guess what happens when I try to play an old game with a map that's basically all blackish, greenish tint? Well, I can see jack shit. And oh, after I finished the mission I realized my monitor was only at 50% brightness. Yeah, not my smartest move. So my biggest problem was navigating this blurry mess and not messing up. At one point I clicked like 2 minutes into a tree without realizing it. Oh, sweet summer. Yeah. Okay, anyway, moving on. Some fighting, backing up, healing up, waiting for Legolas regeneration, pulling back later, and again enough spell points to make Legolas a legend for this mission. It's not like he's allowed to die anyway. I am moving forward and he reaches level 10. Finally. Took him long enough. Now he can regroup with his archers and hunt Gollum down. My forces make their way through the forest and kill spider after spider after spider after spider. And later we find an elven altar which grants bonus max HP, which is always helpful for my squishy units. But before I gain control over it, a massive attack hits, compared to the spiders, and I need to use Legolas spells to survive. It's close, and it looks like I get overwhelmed, but at the end I manage to survive without a loss. Now we have control over the altar and our units gets more max HP. You'll love to see it. So, we traverse the forest even more and explore the map. Gollum really likes to hide and I don't find him for a long time. Maybe because I saw jack shit, but that's just an assumption. Eventually, we find Gollum and he runs away into an orc camp. This coward. Then this cutscene plays.
Nasty elves, they can't catch us. No, precious, they can't.
Gollum is there! We have him now! An orc camp in Mirkwood? Be on your guard.
Then my archers get teleported in front of Legolas for some reason, and orcs attack. Unfortunately, the targeting is shit here and my units get focused down pretty fast. And they die. Thanks, game. Luckily I saved this time around. You see, I can learn, even if slow. And then on the next try, I place Legolas in front of the orcs, and they attack him first. And they get slaughtered by my forces. Another cutscene plays.
Gollum will have to wait. This foul orc presence so near our realm cannot be tolerated. Yes!
Orcs were not common to this area of southern Mirkwood, and a war camp of this size implied a mounting threat to Thranduil's kingdom. One moonless, starless night, the orcs attacked, enabling the cunning Gollum to make his escape, while the elves battled for their lives.
It's a short mission in theory, but got way longer because I got distracted and was way too stupid to find my way through the forest, because I was blinded, maybe. But at the end, Legolas hit level 10, and that's all I care for.
The effort to recapture Gollum was thwarted by the invasion of orcs. Alarmed by this evil presence so close to his father's kingdom, Legolas pushes into the deeper, darker parts of Mirkwood to prevent the orcs from mounting an attack on his people.
I will not let the orcs push farther north. We shall make camp and increase our numbers.
We start off again in Mirkwood and must level an orc outpost that endangers the elves in the region. But this time around, we get to build with Legolas and his elven forces. So I start to build basic infrastructure. This will take some time. So I focus on building base defense first, so I can relax and watch. Again, it takes a sweet time, and the only annoying thing is that some orc archers love to get on a nearby plateau and fire into the back of my base. Man, this game is really weird with its level design and high ground. I built some additional towers there to defend my back, and then it's smooth sailing. I find out that the elven archers can be permanently cloaked, which sounds ultra omega lol broken.
There's a special ability our people share, forbidden even amongst our most sacred clans.
And we're just going to abuse it?
Oh, maliciously.
Anyway, I need to buy some upgrades, and this will take also this sweet time. So, 20 minutes and a coffee break later, and I come back to my fully upgraded and unstoppable stealth force. I move out with them to test their abilities. Oh, and I saved this time. Oh man, it's fun to have ranged units that deal great damage and the enemy can't even attack them. So, I just have to focus down every enemy detector and I'm golden. Which are, by the way, shades are the only detectors I know of. So they die first. On my way to the main base, I rescue a squad of elves, and sadly, they are melee, so they get to retire in the back of my base. Then I am almost at the enemy main camp and get interrupted by an attack force which was on the way to my camp. Then I realize that I have enough spell points for my ultimate ability, Summon Giant End. I save, try it out, and please don't be timed, and it has timed life, which means I can only use it if I can finish the mission before the timer runs out, which I can't right now, so it's reload time. I make my way into the enemy camp and destroy all shades, which are the only detectors, as I previously said, as far as I can tell. So it's just a matter of time until I win. Feel free to watch how my forces clear the base with ease.
My bow is yours. Speak your mind, friend. We must move. Whither the road leads. Attack! Is there trouble? The shadow is growing. You have my oath. Tyrann, as you unheard, as you order. If it must be. As you wish. Let the arrows fly! Certainly. As you wish. Donathur! I am with you. Speak your mind, friend. Ready. Let fly! You have my oath. Yes! Attack! Ready. My bow is yours. Drive them off!
Just for fun, I summoned my giant end at the end, and he helps me with destroying the remaining buildings. Thanks for coming all the way from Fangon to Mirkwood, by the way. Really appreciate the effort. The base gets destroyed, and we win.
We've cleared out this section of the forest, but I suspect Dol Guldur to be the source of this evil. We must press on.
Despite the victory over the Orcs, Legolas felt the battle was not yet over. He believed that a greater darkness may have been behind Gollum's escape. Nearby lay Dol Guldur, an enormous fortress that was once home to the Dark Lord. If there were to be answers to his questions, Legolas would find them there.
Again, 0 deaths. Man, this game is honestly really fun so far. And this mission was boring at the start as always, but after the stealth upgrades for my archers, it was just a big old fun. Choose our next 2 missions, which are available. These are Dol Guldur and Osgiliath. Fearing that Osgiliath will suck, because, well, it's a famous mission for Gondor getting brutally beaten and people dying, and I guess I will not have my OP archers, so we are procrastinating. Wait, shouldn't I learn for my exams right now? Nah, this will be fine.
Suspecting that Gollum's escape and the orc infestation of Mirkwood are no coincidence, Legolas searches for the root of this evil. His search leads him to Dol Guldur, the nearby stronghold of Sauron.
It is worse than I feared. A Nazgul in Mirkwood. A Nazgul commands an army at Dol Guldur.
An army also marches in from the south. We saw Haradrim, cloaked such that most would not see them.
This situation has become truly dire. We cannot allow this evil to gain a foothold near my father's kingdom. We must besiege Dol Guldur and drive the Nazgul out!
We have to destroy the dark base here. Sounds simple enough. Again, we start off with a pretty basic base and need to construct a mill to gain food. But our mining shaft for ore is already completed. Weird. Last mission I had to build up everything from scratch, if I recall it right. Now we only need to build one resource structure? I mean, I don't mind, but it's still kinda odd. Maybe this wasn't checked in testing? Okay, weird design choices aside, I build up and instantly reinforce my base with towers, because we will need them. This will be a constant theme here. Also, this should make sure that no accidental deaths happen. Or at least I hope so. This is definitely no foreshadowing. So, my first tower is finished and I get attacked. It's not that much and luckily Legolas is max level, so he can tank while the towers provide damage. Man, these level 10 heroes are really worth it in these games. This loop of building up and getting attacked continues for a while until my base is basically a fortress. Even if they manage to destroy a tower, they wouldn't get far and it wouldn't matter. I also make sure to place a ranger inside my tower so I can detect stealth units. But why can't a tower actually see stealth units? That sounds like a really stupid move. I mean, what if I don't have any detectors? Then my base defense just dies? I mean, that's hashtag no multiplayer balancing, but I'm just saying. Okay, after yet another weird design quirk was exposed, I now build up my base proper and buy every upgrade there is. Stealth for my archers bought. Armor and attack upgrades also bought. Range upgrade, hell yes. But there's a catch. This takes ages to research. Well, I guess I have to wait. While I'm waiting, I check the site of the totally legit Battle for Middle-earth Reforged project, where there's still no new news yet. Shame. When I come back, my upgrades finish, and I produce an army of elves archers meanwhile. Oh yeah. So, now I get out of my base and try to attack the closest enemy base. I stupidly pull every enemy at once, and my unit gets shredded. Well, that went well. Next try, and I explore the map even further, and find a well that increases my magic HP, and I get 2 new units. A spellcaster that can provide a shield to my units. Neat. Sounds good to be honest. Unfortunately, there is no indicator how much shield they provide, so I guess we will have to see in combat. With the new buff and the new support, I managed to not pull every enemy at once and slowly but surely pull the enemy base apart. It's really fun if the enemy can't see you and can literally do nothing against it. The base falls and I gain access to the dark base of Dol Guldur. The terrain here is also weird. There are enemy units on top of the wall and my units can shoot them, which they normally shouldn't. But my units can't get up there to attack enemies behind and face through the wall? Okay, game, you do you. And also microing here is very, very bad. Also, it seems like Mordor is constantly pumping out spiders to annoy me. I mean, they aren't really threatening mostly, just in mere inconvenience. It takes some time, but in the end, I move up to the base, and the only thing left to do is pull the enemy Nazgul hero and kill him. And of course, my unit pathing is dogshit here, and my archers run headfirst into him and die. Next try, and I carefully place Legolas in front, and everything goes smooth. He dies, and the screen fades to black.
The Nazgul has been defeated. Who is going to tell the Dark Lord that Dol Guldur is lost?
Legolas returned to his father's kingdom in the north of Mirkwood. Upon his return, Thranduil dispatched him to Rivendell with the news of Gollum's escape. There, at the Council of Elrond, Legolas would learn of Gollum's link to the One Ring, and of the doom that threatened Middle-earth. He would be called upon by Elrond to join the brave companions in the quest to destroy the ring.
That was quite a mission. I mean, as always, macro missions take a long time in this game because the start is slow. But then the fighting part is always fun. I get to experiment with new units, and the enemy's attack force get also larger and have new units. It's always very new for me, and I learn something every mission. And also die every mission. Today we are changing armies and support the strong people of Gondor. After purging Mirkwood from the Orc invasion, we now have nowhere left to go other than to Osgiliath. But honestly, I really don't want to. This mission was a pain in Battle for Middle-earth 1. Well, guess there's no more way to delay it, right? No, there really isn't one? No, please? Okay, let's go to the Bridge of Osgiliath.
The army of Mordor has slowly pushed its way west to the ancient abandoned city of Osgiliath. Near the western bank of the river Anduin, the men of Gondor and Rohan have gathered to prevent Sauron's forces from gaining a foothold. Boromir, heir to the Steward of Gondor, leads the attack.
Boromir, the enemy numbers are beyond count. A band of goblins hastens across the near bridge.
Thank you, Ranger. Your eyes are invaluable. Warriors! Sauron's army is pushing its way across our lands! We must press them back across the far bridge! This day we will fight with all our strength and courage! If we die today, it will be as free men, not as slaves to Mordor! Faramir, prepare to put that bow of yours to good use.
I shall, my brother. For Gondor!
Quickly! The goblins are upon us!
Okay, we have to clear the city from orcs and destroy the barricades which are scattered around the city. Sounds easy enough. Right, as the mission starts we get attacked by an attack force and I almost shit my pants. I was not ready for an attack right at the start of the mission, but I somehow managed to survive. We also get two new heroes, Boromir and Faramir, the brothers. Two heroes sounds really good on paper, but this also means that we have to level them up from scratch. But honestly, I loved it, so I'm down for it. But before we do that, I build my base defense up. Fortunately for me, our starting position is only attackable from one side, which makes defending much easier. So, it's tower spam again. After some time, my defense is up, and then the enemy doesn't attack anymore. Thanks, game. So now it's time to build up my infrastructure and my base. And as you all know, this is going to take its sweet time. While I wait, I look at what units I've got. Rohan Riders, they are fast, have not that much health, and are basically scout units. So no thank you. Gondor soldiers, which are basic melee units. I mean, their stats are even worse than the Rohan Riders. And they're slow and melee, so pass again. And then there are Rohan Bowman Archers. They are basically my Elven Archers without the fancy upgrades, and I can't even build more of them. So I will rely on my heroes this mission. I guess let's hope that's enough. My base finishes and I purchase every upgrade there is because why the hell not, I have the resources for it and I don't need units anyway. It won't matter. Boromir and Faramir soon move out and encounter Orc Squad after Orc Squad and begin the slow clearing process of Osgiliath. They have to heal in between fights because they are not strong enough yet, but they level slowly and steadily. Sometime later, when I explore the map, I find a troop of Rohan archers which I have to rescue because, well, it's in the rules, and of course they spawn in an awkward position and die. Thanks, game! Next time around, and I go another way, clear more orcs, and discover another rescuable troop. This time, I don't sleep in my seat and move them away as soon as possible. And oh boy, was this a good idea. A big attack with throws and many orc spawns and tries to annihilate my archers. They barely make it out alive, and it's really close. The orcs chase them all the way to my main base, but then get blasted by my turrets. Oh man, not even close. Oh, and at least the turret spam was worth it. After that, I clear most of the map with Boromir and Faramir, and they both hit level 10. And they also got the legend buff now, and they are basically an unstoppable team by this point. If I use my abilities right, I can even defeat as much enemies as I want, or at least I can retreat. I rescue the other Rohan archers with no problem whatsoever. Then I slowly level an orc base. Man, at this point Faramir killed over 100 units in this mission alone. Who's the real heir of Gondor now? Yes, I know it's technically Aragorn, but let me have this one. I cross a big bridge to the east and I get another cutscene.
What manner of troll is this that can brave the daylight? They will surely decimate our forces. We must keep them from advancing! We'll have to destroy the eastern bridge! Get our workers to dismantle the 4 bridge supports! Quickly!
Okay, now I have to destroy the bridge because the throw onslaught is way too much. But why the fuck can only my builders destroy the support columns? Okay. I moved my builders in because I cleared the whole map, and then orcs attack from behind? What? Last time I checked there were no enemies near there. And of course they spawned right there and my builder die. Okay, reload time. And I see that the game changed my resolution some time ago. Thanks? Man, this game has weird quirks. But it gets even weirder. After I get back into the game, I discovered that my enemies can't damage my units. But I can't damage them either. So it's a stalemate? But this makes the mission pretty easy now. I glitched the game somehow and now I can do whatever I want. Honestly, this mission is so weird that I don't even care anymore. I let my units fight and watch as nobody takes damage. I mean, take a look. It's fun. Meanwhile, the builder squad runs through and happily dismantles the support columns. They break, and this happens.
Get back across the bridge! Hooray! We have denied Sauron's army passage into our lands! They will have a hard time crossing the Anduin without a bridge!
Lacking the numbers to contest the forces of Sauron, Boromir decided to fell the eastern bridge and thereby deny the invaders passage across the river Anduin. With the river as a barrier, the men of Gondor were able to hold back the attackers, but the assault continued all along the river's banks. As their situation became more desperate, Boromir journeyed to Rivendell to seek the advice and knowledge of Elrond Half-Elven. He arrived in time for the Council of Elrond, where he was selected to join the Fellowship of the Ring.
The mission ends with a nice 0 losses. And we ignore the weird glitch, which I have no idea how I did it. I guess it has to do something with reloading. This is in defending in, or was it recapturing Lothlorien? I'm not sure anymore. Also, there's no other mission to choose from, so off we go.
After unintentionally stirring the Orcs of Moria, the Fellowship seeks refuge in the elven forest of Lothlorien. With the aid of the elves, the Fellowship must protect the sanctity of Lothlorien and drive the Orcs back from these sacred lands.
The Orcs will soon be upon us.
If we can find the elves of this wood, they will surely help us.
Then let us make haste. This is an elven encampment, but I see no elves. No time for elves! The Orcs are here!
Fear not, friends. Let them come closer.
We sensed danger was near. What evil have you brought upon us?
Orcs have followed us from Moria. There are far more behind us than you have slain here.
From Moria? This is ill news indeed. I believe I know what we must do. In this wood lie 2 great Malorn trees, greater than all the rest. Long ago, they were planted by Our Lady Galadriel, and therefore imbued with the purity of her good spirit. These Malorns seem to manifest a golden light that drives the Orcs mad. For many years, they have kept the evil creatures of Moria out of Lothlorien. Of late, it seems the power of these Malorns has grown dim. However, I believe the presence of good would stir their power. Reviving the light of the Malorns is our only hope of forcing the Orcs from our sacred forest.
Quickly then!
Wait. Orc scouts have already penetrated the forest and are fighting something to the north. A horn. It would be wise, I think, to offer aid.
Then we have 2 tasks. Protect the Malorns and help the Horn.
So, it seems like we have the Fellowship of the Ring to aid us in this mission, which is really great. I mean, I have 5 heroes now. Wait a second, why only 5? Aren't Sam, Pippin and Merry also considered heroes? Well, no. For some reason there are only normal units with special names. But Frodo is a hero? Okay, another weird design quirk uncovered. The mission objective this time around is to find 2 sacred Malorn trees and hold them for 3 minutes. Sounds pretty simple. My plan is to defend while I build up my forces and level up my heroes who haven't hit level 10 yet. Which are basically Aragorn and Frodo. Oh, and as a bonus I have to say for Huon? I mean, how the fuck do you spell that thing? Let's just call them trees. So I need to save him, because I have to save allies whenever possible. Honestly, the beginning is the same as always. Building up defenses while I try to defend with my starting force. When my tower is finished, I start building up the rest of my base and buying upgrades and starting unit production, or to be exact, stealth archer production. The only upside this time around is that I have something to do while I wait. I read through Aragorn and Frodo's abilities. While Frodo's are not that useful, Aragorn's on the other hand are awesome. He has a heal which has low cooldown, as all hero spells have, and he has a good amount of health. So, he's our main healer now. His next ability is called Andúri's Fury. It's a basic damage buff which increases his DPS even more if his enemy is a Wraith, a Black Rider, or an enemy hero. So I take it. I bet he's gonna be a monster when he is reached level 10 and gets his legend buffed. And his third and last ability has a very original name, which is Immunity. And yes, it basically makes him immune to all blind, poison, stuns and slow effects. So, to everything. Man, he's gonna be a powerhouse. While I explained his abilities, the orc attacks get more and more intense. The heroes can handle it for now, but I slowly realized that at some point I will need more than just heroes. Let's just hope that I'm wrong. Also, my base gets slowly bigger and bigger, but I still have to wait and wait and wait. I also built some, oh no, not a Tolkien name again, Beorn? Well, Bearmen basically. They are usually not that useful without their bear transformation upgrade, but they can also heal, which is all I need them for. It also sucks that I get a big group of useless melee units at the beginning which I cannot really use. Oh well. When my Beons finish, I send them out with Frodo and Aragorn to provide healing while they explore the map, and also level up even more. I discover a second base point, which could be useful later. Then Aragorn and Frodo find an Orc encampment, and I try to pull the enemy out, which works quite good, but I greatly underestimated the Orc's will to kill Frodo. And the troll gets to him and kills him. Oops, sorry Frodo. Reload time. This time around they get backup from the other heroes. With the backup there's no way the Orcs can win this. I level the Orc outpost and discover a bridge which will lead to one of the melon trees I will need to hold. We will keep that in mind. Frodo and Aragorn continue their journey, and the other heroes get defense duty again. But the exploration squad soon finds even more Orcs than before and has to run. There's no way that they can defeat this without backup. Legolas comes to their aid, and they quickly dispatch the enemies. The Faragorn squad, you get it? Frodo and Aragorn's name combined? Yeah, I know it's bad. Discover another big group of enemies and pull them to my main base. At this point the attacks get absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I can barely withstand the onslaught of Orcs, and then another big wave comes in. I reload and manage to somehow not die, and then a text message appears which says, "You are nearly out of time. The Orc horde will soon overwhelm you." What? So this mission has a hidden timer? You're kidding me, right? Well, no, it has a timer, which increases the enemies the longer the mission goes. So my strategy of building up led to my own downfall. Oh, great. I mean, I don't have anything against this type of mission, but why on earth isn't this mentioned anywhere? There isn't even anything in the mission briefing or in the objectives. It's just like, "Hey Dave, do you know what would be a fun mission design?" No, what do you have in mind? Let's make a normal builder mission like the rest before, but in the end make a gotcha moment which you cannot escape without knowing it, and the player has to restart the whole mission. Yes man, sounds fun. Like, what the actual fuck? Why? This is terrible game design. If you excuse me, I will be right back shouting in my pillow. For wasting about 1.5 hours for nothing. Thanks again, game. So, I restarted the whole mission, and this time I'm not here to fuck around. The mission starts and Frodo and Aragorn go to save the Huon ASAP, while my defense also gets jump started. I save before encountering the tree and try to save him, but he's surrounded by Orcs, and even with Aragorn's healing, he dies. The next two attempts go the same, but with the help from even Gimli and his stun ability, the tree lives, and we get a tank unit which deals a great amount of damage. Also, this happens.
The Huon has decided to fight with us.
The horn gets placed to the Faragorn squad, which should be now called Farathorn, I guess? No, that's even too weird for me. And that says something. The three make their way to the first tree and destroy a small Orc encampment on the way. They find the tree, and now comes the tricky part of this mission. As soon as you stand on top of the melon trees, small waves of enemies try to recapture it every so often. So my squad needs to stay there and defend. While my main base gets also attacked. And I also need to send out another squad of units to capture the next tree. And hold everything for 3 minutes. That's gonna be fun, right? I sent out Legolas and Gimli because I thought it would be the most fitting squad, and also 2 Beons to accompany them for healing. They will need it. At this point I neglected my base defense almost completely to buy upgrades and start archer production sooner than normal, and it paid off. So now 3 archers can also join Legolas and Gimli. Their firepower is desperately needed there. They make their way to the second tree without much trouble and clear the Orc base guarding the bridge. All where Aragorn, Frodo and the Horn defend the first tree. As soon as Gimli and Legolas arrive, the 3-minute timer starts and the attacks intensify. I need to constantly switch between sides to manage healing and also make sure to use the spells whenever I can. And also produce backup at home. This works fine for the most of the timer, but at the end it gets hard to manage. I realize I hit my micro limits here. Then the 35-second mark hits and it's almost guaranteed game over for me. 3 melee trolls and a big Orc escort hit at the same time at both trees. Neither of my squads are strong enough to clear this attack on their own. Maybe if they team up, but not like this. I also need to make sure my backup and no hero dies in the 35 seconds. Reload time. This time at the first tree everything goes smooth, but my backup units die at the second tree. Okay, another reload. So begins the sweet reload again and again and again and again. My final victory came with the following strategy. Keep your fragile units at the second tree as long as you can. You need their firepower. When the 35-second attack hits, let them get aggro and run away instantly. This will send some orcs or maybe even a troll away and buy Legolas and Gimli some precious time. Then keep Frodo out of trouble at the first tree. Also don't forget to use your spells to stun, heal and damage as often as you can. The first tree group also has to disengage for a brief moment, otherwise they would die. It's getting close. Frodo is almost dead and Legolas is soon following him. But the timer's up and I win.
What is that? That feeling? What is happening? It drives me mad! Flee! Flee!
We've done it! We've driven the orcs back!
Thanks to the courage and strength of the Fellowship and the elves of Lothlorien, the orcs were driven from the forest and back into the depths of Moria. However, there was little time for the Fellowship to rejoice, for their quest could not wait. Lord Celeborn and Galadriel, the Lady of Lorien, met with the Fellowship and gave them valuable information, supplies, and gifts to aid them on their journey.
Oh my fucking god, I did it. And boy was this close. I mean, all my units were toast by this point. Well, that was something. This mission was interesting to say the least, but fun nonetheless. Today we are procrastinating even more in not completing Helms Deep next and instead going to the Liberation of Upbourn.
Men of Rohan and Gondor! The dark hand of Sauron has reached our homeland. Orcs inhabit the great hall in Upbourn. They defile the sacred barrows of our ancestors. They feast on our great steeds. We must drive them back and save our fair city. Let us come together and purge these vile creatures from Upbourn!
Erkenbrand wants to free the city of Upbourn. Wait, is Upbourn actually a city? I don't know, my Tolkien knowledge is a bit clouded. Never mind. He wants to liberate it from the orcs. So with the help of Gandalf and his trusty Rohirrims, he makes his way to these outskirts of the city, where the forces of good and evil will clash once more. I think I'm ready to record voiceover for games. Am I? Jokes aside, the mission starts us off with a small base where we have to defend two entrances. Because Gandalf is already leveled up, he has defense duty, while Erkenbrand, or how we call him in Germany, Erkenbrand, moves out to explore the map. He's level 1, so he's not that strong right now, needs to recover some lost health after fights, but he can still gain some experience and clear some small enemy groups. He finds an altar which blesses us with max HP. Not bad, Erkenbrand. While I explore the map even further, I build up my base and realize I can't build stealth archers this mission. So we'll have to get creative with our unit composition. Because our starting Rohirrim force is dog shit, honestly. I mean, they are weak scouts, so why do we get so many of them? Anyway, they will stay safe in our base because they are way too fragile to do anything else. I also have to build rangers later because, yes, the enemy has invisible units in the near future. And I really want to see what attacks me. I know, weird, right? My units I built first are Beyonds for the healing. Also, I realized that I can now upgrade my towers to deal way more damage and get more tanky. And I love this upgrade, man. I mean, it's a perfect upgrade for a Deathless run. Please give me more of that. Erkenbrand, a ranger, and 2 healers are now my attack force for the time being, because this way he can level up and gain maximum experience without having to wait for ages to heal him up. We find a small outpost and we have to destroy it. We attack it, and I send in another 2 healers just to be sure that he doesn't die, and we slowly start to destroy it. Meanwhile, the attacks on my base get more fierce than I thought, and I even managed to destroy some turrets and get into my base. Man, I need to be more careful. I rebuild my lost structures and take a second base, which I will need now to defend as well. Wasn't this a good choice? We will see. But it's nothing. A few, or let's say many, and I mean many, really many towers can't fix. So I will wait for them to finish. I upgrade them slowly and even place some rangers inside them because there isn't an upgrade for turrets or structures to see invisible units. And I really wonder why. When my second base is safe, I send out an attack force consisting of Gandalf and some archers to reclaim the city of Upbourn. The Beyond force joins them and Erkenbrand does as well. Together they make their way through the city and destroy every single Orc and Uruk they can find, and take revenge for their fallen brethren. They also save some horses and destroy another Orc base. This one is quite big, to be honest. Actually could be the biggest we've seen yet, but nothing I can't handle. The base soon falls and now there's only one objective left: defeating the enemy Orc leader. I think he's even a hero. Nice to have some change around here. I attack with all I have left and he soon lies dead beneath our feet. And then I realize I didn't finish the Orc base from earlier. Whoops. A friendly end, or fend, helps us with that, and then when the last building falls, the screen fades to black.
Completed.
Rejoice, men! We have won a great victory! Today will be heralded in song for generations!
Gandalf and Erkenbrand successfully routed the Orcs from the town of Upbourn, where the citizens celebrated their salvation for many days. For the heroes, however, the call to arms was still upon them, for Sauron's forces were besieging the Hornburg at Helms Deep. Erkenbrand gathered his riders and, with Gandalf, raced to join the battle.
We finished the mission with nice 0 losses, and oh boy, I really don't want to play Helms Deep next, but I think there's no other choice. Today we are back in Middle-earth, and this time around there's no more way of delaying the inevitable. We are going to defend Helms Deep. Okay, so before we start off, let's just state some facts here. Helms Deep is a section where even in the films 10,000 Uruks march against the Deeping Wall. The people that die here are many, and I mean really, really many. I mean even this leader of the elves gets killed here. So yeah, sounds like a lot of fun, right? Anyway, while the intro and cutscene plays, I will be shouting into my pillow, so don't worry.
Sauron has unleashed all of his forces from Isengard to assault the Hornburg within Helm's Deep. His forces have crushed all resistance on their march toward the stronghold. As the foul army draws near, Aragorn, Gimli, and Legolas prepare the defense.
Legolas, what do your eyes see in this darkness?
I cannot see much. An awful haze lingers in the air. The night feels thick and darker than usual, as if someone has thrown a shroud over the land.
Bah! Just bring me some orcs! The darkness won't protect them from my axe!
We know they are out there, and the attack will come soon. Through the west gate is the Deeping Wall. That is the most likely place they will try to breach our defenses. Gimli, I think your axe will find its best use there. Legolas, stay behind Gimli and use your bow to stop any orcs that break through. I will stay here and defend the main gate.
So the mission starts us off with two separate forces we have to manage. Aragorn and some archers on the main gate, and Legolas and Gimli on the big wall. We have to defend both for 5 minutes. While Aragorn's side needs minimal attention, Legolas's and Gimli's side is much different. I need to constantly micro my archers to focus fire orcs and use Gimli's and Legolas spells to succeed. Also, we can't lose the dam before the timer runs out, and for some reason the dam is squishy as hell. Every hit it takes could be too much. So the first 5 minutes will be fun, but manageable, somehow. But there will be bigger problems ahead. Trust me. Also, Legolas and Gimli get reinforcements every now and then. But sadly, they are mostly useless because I don't really need low HP melee units to die for me. So the archers I group up with the main force, but melee units have a timeout in a corner meanwhile. The timer slowly ticks down, and I manage to defend the wall. Now they break through, and I need to kill 80 orcs in a shorter amount of time. My archers gets focused down, and he's dead. What? That took like 2 seconds. Well, yeah, reload time. And this time around, I got the no damage bug again, so I can complete my next objective, and I softlocked myself here. Great. I reload in all the save and try again. This time I evacuate my forces behind the wall before it gets destroyed, even if the timing is tricky here. The wall gets blasted, and this time the enemy takes damage. Good, that's a nice start, but it's not an easy fight. I need to group up my forces and use everything I've got to stand a chance. There are just so many fucking Uruk. It's close, but one archer still dies, and I have to reload again. This time the bug doesn't occur, fortunately, and I try to let my heroes tank more. I also noticed that the objective of killing 80 Uruks is tough. It will be close, that's for sure. Everything seems to be running smooth, and then my game crashes. Thanks, game. So in the next try... Oh, and this time I didn't forget to change my resolution. In this attempt I managed to kill 51 Uruks, and the game crashes again. And again. So it looks like this save file is cursed. Cool. As if this mission wasn't hard to begin with. I did try to find a solution online, but well, this game is old, really old. And it's a wonder it works on modern machines, so I didn't try to push my luck here and just replayed the whole part. Okay, so we're here again, right after the wall gets blown up. It's hard, and I need to micro my reinforcements and my archers and heroes at the same time. And because I suck at microing multiple forces at the same time, I really need to focus. But at least I managed to stay alive and kill over 80 orcs. Or Uruks? I mean, in-game it's orcs, but actually it should be Uruks. Anyway.
Gimli! We cannot hold the wall! We must fall back!
Retreat? I guess it will be easier to cleave orcs with strong stone at my back.
Another enemy.
Okay, my heroes managed to get through, and now they are behind the inner walls. But why the fuck are 4 archers not inside, but surrounded by 30 Uruks? Actually, they are orcs at this point, but canonically Uruks? Anyway, why, game? Do you hate my Deathless runs this much? Okay, focus. Rant is over. I instantly pull them back to the melee reinforcements and pray that no one follows them, or at least that they manage to kill them without a loss. Then I also need to regroup my archers and heroes to destroy a battering ram. Is this the right name? who cares at this point? I need to stop them from destroying the main gate and somehow defend the side where it's open. Okay. I just do that while my melee units hide behind me. Unfortunately, it's not that easy, because the map gets bombarded by random arrows the whole time. This was no problem so far, but these arrows can hit my melee units and trigger an attack command, which prompts them to walk into their doom. So I need to constantly babysit them. Fun. Also, Aragorn has a quick chat with some Orcs.
Bring out your king! We are the fighting Orakai! We will fetch him from his hole if he doesn't come! Bring out your skulking king!
The king stays or comes at his own will. Get you gone, and return to your evil.
Get down, or we'll shoot you from the wall!
I have still this to say. No enemy has yet taken the Hornburg. Depart, or not one of you will be spared. Not one will be left alive to take tidings back to the north. You do not know your peril.
At this point, another timer appears and I need to hold out until dawn. But the new Orcs in conjunction with the Orcs are so much. I try to hold out, but I get slowly overrun and everything is lost. So, yes, I lost here. And honestly, I was so fed up with this stupid mission at this point, because I got 3.5 hours worth of footage so far and only from this single mission. So, I took a break. For like 2 weeks and forgot that this mission existed, until my girlfriend asked me, "Hey, don't you have to finish this?" Well, I do, and thanks for the reminder. So with new energy, I tried again. And of course my save was corrupted, so guess who had to play the whole mission again? But to my surprise, I got through with my first attempt. I guess playing the same section over and over again helps, doesn't it? This time I managed my troops better, focus fire the enemy. Also Aragorn's heal, Gimli's stun and Legolas' damage boosts helps a lot here. It's a long fought battle, but at last the timer ticks down to 0.
I am done with cowering behind these walls, and I will not end up here, taken like an old badger in a trap. When the dawn comes, I will ride forth. Maybe we shall cleave a road, or make such an end as would be worth a song. If any be left to sing of us hereafter, will you fight by my side, son of Arathorn?
I am with you to the end.
And of course Theoden decides to run out with his riders to kill himself? Of course, I try to send him back in, but there is no way everybody survives. No fucking way. I mean, I'm surprised I managed to make it this far, but at this point I couldn't care less. I kept the losses at a minimum of 2 riders or so, but fuck Theoden, fuck his suicidal riders. Then it's dawn and Gandalf arrives.
Behold! Gandalf is come again!
He arrives with more squishy riders. Nice. And then this happens. Oh, the Horns arrive to help me, and now the battlefield is a mess. There is a fight inside the fortress, outside on the field, on the edge with the riders, and on the other side with the Horns. In short, there's no way I can guarantee no losses here. So, for me personally, I managed to do this Deathless because Theoden and his troops are technically not mine. Also, Gandalf reinforcements cannot be considered my units because, as we all know, a wizard is never late, nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to. Oh, and for the Horns, I mean, they are trees, so if a tree dies, They aren't considered my units or humans, are they? So for me, it's a win. And yes, you can complain about that as much as you want in the comments. But I cleared the last enemies of the map, and I finally won. Woo!
With Gandalf's timely return and the help of horns from Fangorn Forest, the men of Rohan were saved and the forces of Saruman defeated. While the shadow of malice still loomed over the lands of men, the victory at Helms Deep brightened their hearts and brought them hope.
So, after this fun mission, I need to lie down and rest. It was a lot. Today we are getting ready for the last mission in this campaign. Yeah, after the long slog that was Helms Deep, we finally made it to the end. So, there's no other choice than to proceed.
Sauron has amassed a legion of minions to push forth from the Black Gates. Aragorn leads soldiers of the free peoples of Middle-earth against the evil forces. However, he does not know the peril that awaits.
The enemy's army has advanced through the Black Gates. Unopposed, they will march out of Mordor into the lands of men. The task at hand is clear. Stop them here and drive them back!
The threat you face is greater than you perceive, son of Arathorn. I come to you from the path ahead with news of what awaits. The enemy completes 3 claws of Gorgoroth as we speak. To what evil intent, I know not. Prepare!
So, we start off with a small encampment and 4 heroes. Legolas, Gimli, Aragorn and Gandalf. Where is the rest? I don't know, but at least we have this 4 powerful heroes, X-Max level. That's something. Our objective is to destroy the final enemy base in the region. It's located on the top left corner of the map. Sounds actually pretty basic, but be warned, this will not last. I start to build basic infrastructure and defenses, but as you can all guess, the start is slow as hell. When my base gets reinforced, Gimli and Aragorn scout the map. After some time, Gimli and Aragorn encounter a small enemy outpost, and Gimli almost dies. Man, this melee throws hit hard. Luckily, Aragorn's heal can save him. After that, Gandalf has unfortunate news.
Behold, it is worse than even I feared. A Balrog of Morgoth. We must stop that demon before it makes it through the pass. It likely draws strength from the claws of Gorgoroth. If we are to succeed, it is vital that we seize control of these abominations.
Okay, so this chill and slow mission just got way harder. The enemy summoned a Balrog and we have to stop it before it reaches our base. But there's a catch. The Balrog draws power from 3 claws of power. Very original naming, by the way. And we must claim them before we can attempt to kill the beast. Or we can attempt it, but it would be stupid and I wouldn't do that, would I? So it's basically a timed mission now. And oh boy, do I love these, especially in a Deathless run. The claws are scattered all around the map and it won't be easy to clear a path to them, claim them. Oh, and yeah, avoiding the Balrog in the process is also a little problem, I guess. I hope my base is up and running, otherwise this will be a short mission. I grab my other heroes and forces, I have to clear the first base. Later I found the first claw, and of course it's guarded. I need to kill the defenders, which my heroes barely managed to do so. The first claw is mine, and I realized the Balrog is actually pretty fast for its size. I don't know if I have time to claim all 3 claws before he reaches me. Okay, heroes. I know you're tired and you did much for me, but please just manage to capture the next claw in time. Legolas is still wounded from the last battle and needs to stay behind for a while the other heroes arrive at the next claw. One heal from Aragorn later, and I foolishly thought, hey, the Balrog is near and he can't be that tough. Let's just attack him. Yeah, that went as well as you could have expected. Yeah, it was bad. Very bad. He deals massive damage to all my Miro heroes in range and basically one-shotted Gimli. So, it's reload time. I tried to fight the Balrog for a few times, but I stood no chance. So I grabbed my heroes and tried to run through him and, well, something died. Nice. Okay, so capturing the next claw it is. While my heroes destroy the base, there I also reinforce my own base with more towers and troops. Let's hope there are enough to stop this beast. While my heroes dismantle the enemy encampment, my own base gets attacked and my reinforcements on the way get also attacked. Man, this mission is really micro and macro hell for me. I managed to claim the next claw just before the Balrog hits my base. Well, let's hope my towers can stall the Balrog long enough for my heroes to arrive. Legolas activates its speed boost and they run as fast as they can. My towers take massive damage and one quickly falls. Then Legolas arrives and takes aggro from the enemy. While my other heroes almost made it back. I try to kite the Balrog, but he's not interested, and I attack with everything I've got. It's hard, and only my heroes are strong enough to survive its attack, but not for long, even with Aragorn's healing. I use my base as a distraction to deal more damage to him. He takes massive damage, but still, he lives. I need to kite him back even more. He's dangerously close to my archers. One hit and they are dead. Aragorn tanks another hit and he almost dies. And then a brave ranger runs in and dies. Oh man, come on. Well, I reload and do the same again and again until I manage to kill the beast. That was something. Most of my heroes took massive damage and it was a close call timing wise. With the Balrog defeated, I can breathe and take my sweet time destroying the last Mordor base. Honestly, for now, nothing interesting happens for quite some time. I defend my base, buy upgrades, build stealth archers. I mean, what should I build otherwise? And chill for some time. Then, when I think my army is big enough, I attack with it. And of course, then a ranged troll attacks my base and outranges my turret. Thank God I can kite him. And now even more trolls arrive. And yeah, they destroy all my towers and even try to kill my workers. So, it's reload time. This time I build more defenses and wait for this attack force and kill it with my army while my towers shoot at it. Then I can attack. And of course on the way is another big attack force. Thanks game, it's really fun if I can't leave my base for 2 minutes, otherwise I die. This cycle of scouting enemy attack waves, clearing them with my army, and then getting back to my base continues for quite some time. Until I manage to clear my way through the pass and take my army with me. Then I need to kill a Nazgûl squad as well as another attack force that hits me from behind. Luckily, I could move them out of the way and nobody died. Then it's just killing troll after troll until I manage to get inside the last base. Gimli takes over an enemy turret and I can easily clear the last objective. The base falls and I've won. The screen fades to black.
It is done! The land of men is safe once more.
With the foul demon of Morgoth defeated, Aragorn and his forces marched upon Mordor towards Barad-dûr, the tower of the Dark Lord himself. Despite their losses, it was evident that Sauron's power was fading, and soon the free peoples of Middle-earth would be safe. The might of the Dark Lord had been countered. Gondor steel bested orc blades, and the blood of Sauron's minions blackened the ground. The free peoples of Middle-earth, elves, men, and dwarves alike fought as one. And though the price of victory was high, it gave hope to the Fellowship that the defeat of Sauron was at hand. With the destruction of the One Ring, Middle-earth could be renewed.
Man, this campaign was really something. Honestly, the start was easy and manageable up until the Lothlorien mission, where the difficulty spiked hard. Then it was brutal survival and using everything you've got to ensure victory. But what can I say for a game that's over 20 years old? It was fun. Really, of course the controls and visuals are dated, but who cares? It's not as great as Battle for Middle-earth, but still fun nonetheless. Okay guys, stay healthy, be nice to each other, enjoy life, and game on!